Hi everybody, it's Kim Wilson again, and I'm back with our fun fold for today for the December card class. And I hope I can remember how I made this because it was way back in June that Stampin' Up! Had this event called Creativity Now that was just for demonstrators. And I'm showing you the handout we had at this class, and I'm hoping it's okay to show it now because all of the products that we used in this class are retiring, and in fact the embossing folder is sold out already. But I just thought this would be a fun class idea to show you, because you could do it with any sort of designer series paper because you're just using a piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4. That's the actual card when it's finished, when it's folded, but you're using a 4 inch by 12 inch piece of the designer paper. So you can get 3 cards out of one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And it has a fun little tie here with this beautiful ribbon. I don't know if you can see how shiny that is. So pretty. I used up a whole roll of this ribbon on all these cards for class, and I had to order another one because it was so pretty. And it is on the last chance list, so if you want the ribbon, it's still available. And then on the inside, we've got the beautiful dove and peace, love, joy. So let me pull out the pieces and see if I can get this together. So got a lot of pieces here. If you have a kit, you can follow along. I do have kits left if you wanted to purchase a kit. So we've got the score lines are at, let's see, 2 inches and 7 1/2 inches, and they're folded. So it makes a standard size card, but you're going to open it a little different than usual. This is how it's going to open. So let's work on this inside piece first. And again, we're going to grab a lighter blue ink. I've got Balmy Blue here. If you have cloud cover ink, you can use some of that ink with your blending brush. And we're just going to make just real lightly add this color here. And then as it goes down, I'm pressing harder and harder. And then we've got a nice little section of light blue color there. Can you see that? And hey, yay, I didn't splotch it. If you do splotch it, don't worry, because you can put your dove right over the splotch. And then we are going to stamp the Love Joy piece, which I have here in Misty Moonlight, right on the bottom of that card. Okay. And then add our dove that has the wings open right there. And I guess we're just going to leave that dove white because doves are white. All right, a little bit of liquid glue, which is where? Right here. I'm just going to put the glue in the center because I like to kind of fold the wings up a little bit. I'm not sure if that is really going to show when the card is closed or anything, but if you were displaying the card, you could have the wings kind of popped up a little bit. You could even put dimensionals under them if you wanted them to stay up a little bit. Okay, there's the inside. So we might as well just go ahead and glue that on the inside of the card, and then the inside will be done. And I'm hoping I remember all the pieces in the right order. The only tricky part here is I want to make sure I get my ribbon in the right spot because it's going to go under this this little label here. So I used this little punch here that we have. It's in a punch trio to make my little swat here. They suggested in the instructions to just make a slit with your X-Acto knife from your Take Your Pick tool. But since I have this little punch, which is perfect for a ribbon, I used that. And again, they used the blending brush again and added a little color right at the bottom there. I mean, I can do that if I want, but I'm going to stamp the piece on earth. If you had like a happy birthday or something like that, that would be a pretty birthday card, or a smaller thinking of you card. Oh, the sympathy card would also, the sentiment would also fit there. And I'm going to stamp that as low as I can get it there because it's kind of a big stamp. And then we have, I cut a piece of that glimmer paper and then just cut it off. Well, actually, I just used a little strip of the glimmer paper so that I didn't waste any. So I didn't have to cut it off. It was already cut. And that's going to glue right on top of that label. Like so. Okay, looks so far so good. All right, it looks like the next step is to put down this. This is the embossed piece, and I did this one a little crooked, so I saved this one for my sample because I embossed it a little crooked, but I think it'll still look fine. And again, this is one of those cards where you've got to make sure you put your adhesive just in certain spots. And I'm going to use the tear and tape because the liquid glue sometimes will slide around a little bit, and I want to just move along here. So I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape at the top there and get that situated. It looks like that goes all the way up to the very top of the card. So we're putting on a lot of layers here, aren't we? All right, and then it looks like next is the ribbon. So ribbon, here's a big piece of the ribbon. Let's see, how many inches of that? It used quite a bit of the ribbon. I think they had you do like 26 inches if I remember right, something like that. You could probably cut it back a little bit. All right, and then this label is going to go right over the panel where that label is, but we're going to use dimensionals for it. So let me slide that ribbon in. I've got my example right next to me so I don't mess up. Hopefully I will do it exactly the same as my example since it turned out really pretty. All right, and then dimensionals. So yes, dimensionals here on the back of this. And I'm gonna put one of the dimensionals like right over that ribbon because that'll help hold it down. That's always a nice way to do the dimensionals when you're using ribbon because sometimes it's hard to keep it in place, keep it straight. So let's do 2 more. We'll pile a bunch there, but I don't want to go right at the very bottom because that bottom's going to hang over. So again, I've got to make sure I didn't put my dimensionals too far down. And I did put it a little bit crooked. Let's go over this way a little bit more. Okay, and I managed not to glue my card shut. Good job. All right, I've got all my pieces there. It looks like I just need to add a couple more things, and that is the other dove. So again, I'll put some adhesive right on the center of that dove. So if I wanted to, I could kind of pop the wings up with some dimensionals. And there's this tiny, tiny little piece of foliage. So we cut this out of Secret Sea cardstock. It's the really dark cardstock that's almost black. And that dove is going to hold that little piece of foliage. If you wanted to, you could cut out one of the little envelopes. They're cute little envelopes there as well. And I had another little tiny linen thread bow there. So we will grab another glue dot and put that right in the center of that piece of foliage. Oops, almost lost my dove there. And add that. So lots and lots of pieces to this card, but it's so pretty once you get it all together, isn't it? And I don't want to cover up my piece letters, so I'm going to move my dove up a little bit so it's not covering the letters. All right, I think I have it all done so that this card will close. So this flap goes down or up over the inside, and then this top flap goes down, and then the ribbon pulls along here so that it is centered nicely because I copied my sample. So this is the top. This is going to be the center of the ribbon. It's going to be right at the top of your card, and then it's going to tie like this in a nice, beautiful bow with that pretty sparkly paper. And then when we did this card at Creativity Now, we actually made a matching envelope. So this is a really fancy card for somebody really special, right? So the PDF does have instructions on how to make the matching envelope out of Designer Series paper. So you can fit the card in a special envelope, or you could just use a regular envelope too. And so there we have the 3 cards for this, all various stages of techniques and difficulty. I think you can make a whole bunch of this with the easy layout, and maybe a lot of these too if you went with something other than a die cut, because you'd have to die cut 2 of these foliages for every card, but you could do a lot of multiples. And I think I need to do some because my sympathy cards are all gone. I need a stash. One other project that we did with this class is a cute little gift box, and we did some other techniques on this gift box as well. We made a stencil out of that foliage die, which we've done before, and then just added, oh, here it is, and added some color to make that little foliage piece right there. So a lot of things you can do with this beautiful suite. I hope you enjoyed class this month. And next month, I'm going to do things a little differently. We're not going to have such an involved class. We're going to do things a little bit easier. So stay tuned in January in 2026 for some new classes. My blog is right there. If you wanted to get these products, there's links on my blog to grab those products before they're gone. And I hope you enjoyed class this month and have a wonderful Christmas. It might be a while before I'm on again because I want to take a break and get some scrapbooking done, get some Christmas shopping done, and maybe get some fun projects done ready for the new catalog coming in January. So I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and get some time for crafting as well.